Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. This is 10 cinematic video tricks in less than 200 seconds. Enjoy. Number 1, make sure your shutter speed is double your frame rate. So if you shoot at 25 frames per second like I do, then your shutter speed should be 1/50th of a second. If you're shooting too fast a shutter speed, you get that weird, jerky, kind of too sharp, unnatural footage, and it just doesn't look cinematic at all. Number 2, use slow motion. But only use slow motion if it adds to the story, and when you do use slow motion, shoot at a higher frame rate and then scale it back when you're editing it. You can slow down footage that hasn't been shot at a higher frame rate, but it doesn't look as good. Number 3, use a gimbal. So a gimbal can help you to get those super smooth buttery shots, but you should know when to use it. If you've got a really high action scene, sometimes a handheld camera movement is better because you can get that, camera shake and add some anxiety to the scene. But yeah, gimbals make things super smooth and they look really nice. Tip number 4 is color correction and grading. Color correction obviously makes things look good, and color grading can give your footage that certain type of mood or feel that you're going for. So yeah, color grading is awesome. Tip number 5 is to shoot with a shallow depth of field, and that's when the subject's in focus and the background's out of focus. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. One of them is to use a wider aperture on your lens, and the other way would be to zoom in your lens and keep the subject further away from the background, and you should get a blurred out background. The problem with shooting with a wider aperture during the day is that sometimes your footage will be really blown out no matter how low your ISO is, and you've got to keep your shutter speed at double your frame rate. So that's when you'll need to use ND filters. This was going to be a tip on its own, but I'm just going to add it to this one. So use ND filters in order to get the perfect shutter speed, and so you can pick a wider aperture to get that blurry background. So tip number 6 is to avoid using the zoom on your lens. It can look really amateurish, and it's better for you to just push in with the camera rather than zoom using the lens like this. Tip number 7 is to shoot through objects. Now you can shoot through objects such as trees, leaves, glass, windows, all that type of thing. It just adds some depth to your footage and looks absolutely awesome. So tip number 8 is to shoot multiple angles and different little details of the same footage. This just gives you more things to work with in post and spices things up that little bit. Tip number 9 is to choose suitable and good music for your footage. So you probably wouldn't have action music playing over a wedding video, but you get the idea. So the final tip number 10, is to use sound design in your videos. So use whoosh sounds when you've got transitions, use the sounds of traffic, footsteps, all those things add so much more depth and character to your footage, and it really sells the effect. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you did learn something, feel free to drop a like. Feel free to ask me anything in the comments, and I'd love if you'd subscribe. But other than that, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks very much for watching.